Bishop Mark, you've just given your presidential address at Diocesan Synod this morning, and we've talked about 5 distinctive priorities for the diocese in 2014 and beyond. Can you just give us a bit of a flavour of what those 5 priorities are and why they matter so much to the diocese and to the communities in Durham?
Well, it's been a wonderful Synod meeting this morning, but we began with somebody from the Church Urban Fund and then with Leslie from the local Prince Bishop's Community Bank. And they've been setting out to us some of the real challenges right across the diocese. And so one of the key things that we're going to do, which in a way sort of follows on from food banks and things, is that across the diocese in 2014, we're going to recruit 1,000 people from our congregations to join their local credit unions. And we're also going to seek to recruit people who will go and work with the credit unions to increase their capacity and to enable the credit unions to be in places where they need to be, but where they're not able to be at the moment, simply because they don't have enough resources. So that's a key priority about how we're going to serve our local communities. I've also said that we're deeply committed to carrying on our desire to be a diocese where congregations are growing. We've done some really good work, I think, with the Deanery Saturdays. We've had well over 90% of parishes in the diocese involved in that. And we're going to pick up and run with that further next year through a campaign called Leading Your Church into Growth. We're going to do that with the clergy at the Clergy Summer Gathering, and then in the autumn we're going to have a sort of rerun of the Deanery Saturdays. Some of those will have people from the national team at Leading Your Church into Growth, but we're showing we're absolutely committed to moving forward in that way. Now, the hard reality is that if we're going to be a church that's growing, to put it crudely, we need the cash to enable us to do that. And we're going to work hard with parishes next year so that when they come to look at their 2015 parish share contribution, we're going to see if we can get as many parishes as possible to raise that by 3%. And we're going to put a lot of resources in to helping parishes with that. We want to make sure that parishes feel properly thanked for what they do, but also that they have a real picture of what their money is enabling to happen in terms of the church's mission right across the diocese. The other 4th thing that we said, we've been saying over the past few years, that we wanted to be a diocese where we're taking our praying seriously. And one of the things that's come out of the Deanery Saturdays is a large number of parishes saying we want to make saying our prayers and getting better at that a real priority. And so we're going to run a number of Archdeaconry days in 2014 to help parishes to take that further. We're also going to recruit some local teams who'll be willing to come into a parish and help them as they seek to develop their life of prayer.
And so a lot of things discussed this morning, a lot of positive feedback, in fact one of the largest synods that we've had in recent times. Does that give you hope for the fact we're starting to make a difference and starting to grow and move on?
I think it does, and I mean, I said at the end of my presidential address, this has been quite a strange year. We've had no diocesan bishop, we've had no diocesan secretary. In a number of areas we have been seriously challenged, but there's a real sense, certainly coming out of the Deanery Saturdays, and I think we saw it in some of the comments today, that we are really in very good heart. And I think this is, if you like, is a real tribute to Almighty God, who has sustained us in a year when the wheels could easily have come off. And I think there's a real sense that we're moving forward. One of the things I also said was that we've just done some really rough back-of-the-envelope calculations, but we reckon that across the diocese we're now in touch with 4,000 people who we weren't in touch with 2 years ago. And that's through Messy Church and First and Four and things like that. And I think that's a real sense of encouragement, a real sense that we're starting to move in the right direction.
Fantastic. So just one final question. If you had, very much like I said to Sheila in the budget presentation, if you had one thing to say to parishes for this next year to take forward, what would it be?
I think it would be that we are already starting to be a growing church, and with God's help we are going to go on growing in the years ahead.
Bishop Mark, thank you very much.